Throughout much of the 1990s, video game consoles were still seen as the property of children, and the computer a device for adults. Computer games escaped the scrutiny of parents and watchdogs for a long time, no matter how graphic its adventures, or how leisurely its Larrys. In 1997, developer Running with Scissors invited scrutiny, invited controversy with the release of Postal, an isometric action game set during a public rampage. Never before has a video game guided the player to kill everything on screen. It simply had not been done before, or since. Postal is the red-headed stepchild of 90s games for Windows. As violent as freeware demo legend Doom, as dark and disturbing as Phantasmagoria, but nowhere near as honored or remembered as fondly. Postal is a game that dares you to play it, and double dares you not to be ashamed of enjoying it. I have no nostalgic feelings or yearnings related to Postal because I did not play this game or even know much about it until a few weeks ago when I decided to play it for reasons that I don't recall at this time, Your Honor. Postal is certainly a game of the 90s, taking inspiration from a series of tragedies and workplace catastrophes, some of which involved postal workers. That's where the term going postal is derived.
Let me ask you something. What do you do for a living, Newman?
I'm a United States postal worker.
Aren't those the guys that always go crazy and come back with a gun and shoot everybody?
Sometimes.
Why is that?
Because the mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you gotta get it out. But the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. And then the barcode reader breaks, and it's Publishers Clearinghouse down.
It's challenging to play Postal or even discuss Postal without delving into its inherent social politics or the real-world calamities that preceded it and followed it. But I'm sure gonna try. I just want to play Postal and not feel bad about it. I began my dark pilgrimage through the ensanguined world of Postal. My campaign begins today. Open up, neighbors. Eat lead. Eat blood. Eat everything except that which nourishes you. You know what? This is the title screen. I should probably take it easy until the actual game starts. Choosing the medium difficulty and the maximum trenchcoat color, my quest to do whatever it is I am supposed to do commenced. Postal does not immediately inform the player why the unnamed postal dude has gone postal, but the moving van parked outside delivers an explanation through visual language. Postal dude has been evicted from his home. The bank decided to be a fraction of a percent more evil than usual and throw me out into the cold. And at Christmas time, no less. You have offended the baby Jesus. What did he ever do? He told us to love our neighbors, and now I can't even have neighbors to love? Forgive me, baby Jesus, for what I am about to do. It occurs to me that even before I start shooting, the police are already there? Local police, based on the blue uniforms, and state troopers, based on the brown uniforms. Why are the police and state troopers already here before I have blown a gaping hole in anyone? Are they just here to assist the landlords and banks? I mean, yes, right? That's why the police exist, I think. Hold on one second, the military is also here? The military has sent someone with a rocket launcher to assist in the eviction of one dude. One postal dude. That's it. I have come to the conclusion, the entirely reasonable conclusion, I might add, that Postal Dude is the good guy, and everyone else can go fuck themselves in the ass with an Arizona iced tea can. Postal was designed to be a PC game, but my controller works perfectly and gives me a kind of tactile enjoyment that can only be delivered unto my thumbs. Postal allows me to not only carve out a path of vengeance, but also the ability to execute hostiles in movie catchphrase style. You know, one shot plus a one-liner.
Die, weakling. Freeze! Freeze!
At the risk of getting myself on yet another watch list, I love fire in video games. I love when fire burns through houses and buildings in video games. I love seeing people catch fire and run around in a nightmarish agony that is paradoxically both unspeakable and is spoken in loud, unflinching hell screams. In video games.
Embrace the heat.
See, this guy right here, he gets me. I come in contact with my first kill-crazy murder spree. These are not soulless police officers or brainwashed Imperial Corps soldiers. These are real people with hopes and dreams. And it absolutely does not matter because this is a fucking video game. The real-world connection is there, yes, and I would never tell anyone to turn off their brain. But if we're being perfectly, albeit uncomfortably honest with ourselves, there may not be any tangible or meaningful difference between doing this and stomping on Goombas in Super Mario Bros. You know, I have never, even once, played the Japanese version of Super Mario 2, also known as the Lost Levels here or Mario 2 for Super players after that. I'm gonna do that soon. I'm gonna do that as hard and with the exact same fingers and thumbs pressing on my controller as I murder these civilians. And that's okay. You ever think about that? How a game is a unique piece of art, but our interactions with a unique game, finger and thumb movements for the most part, are extremely similar if not identical to an enormous amount of other games. Looking at my hands right now, can you tell what video game I'm playing? I mean, you're watching the Postal video, so you know it's Postal, but you don't know because it's actually Super Mario 2. I just started playing it. It's good! I love that some levels switch perspectives, just to shake things up here and there, and now you have to play the same game using the same weapons but at a new angle. It's a small thing, but it's worth mentioning. I feel this. I hear the developers talking when I play the game. Someone said, let's mix it up a little, and everyone else said, sure, and they probably had a good day that day and maybe had drinks after work. I am not a game developer. I never learned to code, but I must admit that as my lifelong interest in video games has been renewed more than ever lately, I wonder what life would have been like if I had gone that route. I think about games I would like to make if I had the knowledge and started young. I have to say, I'm glad that I'm desensitized to video game violence. It hasn't made me a worse person in real life, it only made me a better video game player. Playing Mortal Kombat did not make me want to murder my classmates by reaching into their chests, pulling out their hearts and looking at their hearts with my mouth agape. Playing Mortal Kombat made me want to play Mortal Kombat 2. Playing Grand Theft Auto 3 did not make a life of crime attractive to me. It made sandbox games attractive to me. And Condemned Criminal Origins did not make me condemn the origins of criminals. I actually never played that game and have no idea what it's about, but I hear it's good. My body and soul both love that the game rewards differing playstyles. Picking off the hostiles one by one has its perks, but so does just leaping in and seeing how much danger I can put myself in and still survive. The first time I play any game, I play on the default difficulty level. Presently, I am doing well.
Medium style.
Oh wow, we can probably stop trying to make something better in video games than exploding an enormous propane tank. It's a fruitless effort and a waste of time. This is it, everybody. This propane tank explodes and that's that. It is said, every act of creation begins with an act of destruction. Now you might think Pablo Picasso said that, but I'm fairly sure it was Duke Nukem. The amount of ostriches in this level had me wonder, what is the collective name for ostriches? And it turns out that it's pride, much like lions. A pride of ostriches. Here's a pride of ostriches that I will set on fire. Scrumptious. Scrumdiddly-umptious, in fact. Look, I caused an extinction level event, and that has got to be worth at least one Steam reward. Here I am launching unnecessary rockets, but who is to say they are unnecessary? I may not need to do this to win, but my goal is not winning. My goal is having fun by any means necessary. And I find this necessary. Haha, she's gone forever. This toilet here, it explodes. What a great thing to explode. Well done. I regret killing all these protesters. And by that, I mean that I regret shooting so many of them before I saw that there was a perfectly good gas station to explode so that I could set them on fire. It's important to live life without regrets, and I can always play the level again and burn as many of them as I want. You need to look on the bright side, as bright as I am when I am set on fire. I die, but that gives me the unexpected opportunity to destroy the gas station again. This time I set it aflame in defiance of all sense of decency before I tear through a stream of human beings with parents. Unfortunately, I overshoot it and they are nowhere near the roaring inferno. I use my rocket launcher instead. Gets the job done. Ack, hoisted by my own petard. Nearly literally, as a petard is apparently a small explosive. Postal is littered with bodies and trashed with trash. Video game designers love sprinkling urban centers with goofy store names. Al Peck's Used Fruit instantly catapults into my top 10. And Rich Bastard Exotic Auto Parts Inc. trebuchets into the top 5. Again, I find myself thinking about the developers' conversations whilst birthing this masterpiece. They must have made a list, perhaps on a white washboard, of all the most horrifying and offensive locations for this rampage, such as a cherished memorial statue of an honored, propagandized war hero. As a child who hated clowns, mowing them into brightly colored, wax-painted chunks and viscera tickled me in a completely wholesome way. Here, I massacre the locals at a baseball diamond at a public park, and an Air Force base full of veterans, setting fire to our populist entertainment, our national pastime, and our military?
What could be more American than that?
If it's unclear, I am playing through the enhanced remake of Postal. The original version looks like this, and that's quaint as fuck, but I want to be able to see what I'm doing, so this one's better. This version of the game comes with a mission to Tokyo. How the Postal dude was able to get on a plane, continue his rampage in Japan, then fly back to finish his murder spree in the United States is unknown and unexplained. You might see this game and think it's lowbrow, but let me ask you this. What is the difference between Postal dude saying kill all the lawyers and William Shakespeare saying the same thing? Henry VI, Part 2, Act 4, Scene 2. I have an English degree, and I used to teach the works of Ernest Hemingway, George Orwell, and Charles Dickens, and I feel that I can authoritatively declare that Postal is better than A Tale of Two Cities.
It is a far, far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better butt-kicking I give than I have ever butt-kicked.
Ever worked in retail? Ever want to let out all those burning frustrations with the customers and management? Have I got a game for you? I can see why this irked so many people. We're only allowed to see ourselves in the kill-crazy rampage man if he's played by Michael Douglas. Those are just the rules of the game, which also stars Michael Douglas. Hey, more propane! You know what? I've never seen Falling Down. William Foster has had enough of traffic. He's had enough of his ex-wife telling him not to call him. He's had enough of, immigrants and people who speak English with an accent that he personally finds indecipherable but is actually quite clear. And for that, everyone must pay, including all the innocent victims caught in the crossfire. This does not mean that Falling Down is an explicitly right-wing movie, though. Framing is everything. The dialogue and visual language of the film more clearly sympathizes with characters who have progressive politics and concerns related to their actual mistreatment by society, whereas reactionary characters like the fascist who owns the military surplus store, and indeed William Foster himself, are painted in a less flattering color. The fascist helps him, even though William might not want his help. William Foster is accurately described by his ex-wife as a man with a dangerous temper. He threatens to kill his ex-wife for lying to him.
Did you know, Beth, that in certain South American countries it's still legal to kill your wife if she insults you?
William Foster makes a lot of xenophobic statements about immigrants and a demand for American assimilation that is inherently tied to white supremacy, not to mention the white fragility pants-wetting at the sight of demographic shifts. Foster occasionally makes statements that are more universally appealing, but that's just the populist rhetoric of a reactionary weirdo that appeals to self-professed centrists who are only one bad day from becoming a full-blown fascist. Also, he used to work for a military contractor, so fuck him on principle. William Foster wears a pocket protector and glasses, but a MAGA hat would probably complete the look, and the movie does not like him for that. If you sympathize with William Foster, you discover something about yourself, about your politics, a Rorschach test for social values. If you have more disdain for William Foster, you discover the opposite. I would find his actions repulsive and selfish if he were a real person. Similarly, I would feel the same for Postal Dude, again, if he were a real person, but he's not, so...
I am crack, I ain't lying, kick a lion in his crack, I'm the shit. I will fall off in your grill, take a shit, hit your mama on their booty, kick your dog, fuck your bitch. That boy dressed up like he Santa and took pictures with your kids. We the best, we will put a frowning face in your chest, little wench. I'm originally fresh, I'm a mensch, yeah correct. I will walk into a court while it wreck, screaming, yes, I am guilty, motherfuckers, I am death. Hey, you wanna hear a good joke? Nobody speak, nobody get choked.
It's much easier to slip into the avatar of Postal Dude than William Foster, because Postal Dude is having a catastrophic bad day and a mental health episode, whereas William Foster's rampage is inextricably tied to his politics, or at least his personal life. Postal Dude doesn't have a rich inner life. He barely even has a life. For all I know, this changes in the sequels, as I have not played them, but in the first Postal, he has about as much characterization as the vector graphics ship from asteroids. Postal Dude is just going for the high score. Let the man live. The finger touch synchronicity is this. I am playing Postal with the same fingers and thumb combinations that I use to play Asteroids. This is fine, actually. I liked the part when the thing exploded. Art is not a code for me to crack. I am not Tom Hanks, and this is not Angels and Demons. This game just, makes me think about what bothers me about the world, and how little power we have to individually affect change. Art is not deep. People are deep. People make art. People experience. Beauty is not art. Creation is art. The sunrise is not art, no matter how beautiful. A painting of a sunrise is art, no matter how poorly crafted. Art only exists because people exist. Apparently, this remake did not sell very well, and for that and other reasons, there is no mod scene for it. When I looked up Postal mods, I mostly found mods for other games to insert Postal Dude and Postal accessories. Fallout New Vegas has a higher than expected amount of Postal mods. I love New Vegas, but I've never actually played it that way. A bad guy run that eschews the role-playing aspect and focuses on the potential for mass murder. Not my style. Mods for sex and nudity, of course, but murder? Sir, I am a gentleman. Yet I must admit that does sound like fun. Here's a mod to play as Postal Dude or have Postal Dude as a companion, which I think I can combine without any errors and be Postal Dude while having a different looking Postal Dude follow me around too. Maybe I'll do that someday. This game was really fun. Some joking aside, I genuinely had a great time playing Postal. I must admit that I might feel differently about the Postal oeuvre if I were to play Postal 2. So I will. Hi everyone. If you want to support what I do, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment under this video. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/renegadecut. I'll see you soon.